Monday's show? Here's the recap, presented by Honda.
Al Bernstein here on the Rich Eisen Show. Where do you stand on the subject of Wilder's corner throwing in the towel?
Well, they didn't have a good night overall. Mark Breland did that because he felt like his fighter was in trouble. I would not criticize someone for doing that. Wilder was in the corner and in trouble, and Mark Breland must have felt that at that juncture with the injuries he had, the ear injury, tremendous bleeding from the mouth, and was not firing back, was not really punching back that much. They'd seen enough.
He is Todd McShay.
Jake Fromm had 8 7/8 of an inch hand span, measuring from the end of your pinky to the end of your thumb. You've got 9 inches for Joe Burrow, and for some reason, when you get in that 8 category, I've legitimately gone back a 17-year study of combine results that I have. 17-year study, there's not a single quarterback anywhere in the 8-inch range for hand span that has had sustained success in the NFL. Joe Burrow, 9 inches, it is a little bit of concern in terms of ball control, but you watch him play, and it was never really an issue. But that 8 7/8 inches is different from 9 inches, whether you like it or not, and it's a ridiculous thing to say because it's 1/8 of an inch.
Bob McElhaney, good to see you, sir. So is it your job to get DeVito on board for It's Always Sunny?
Yes. We got a call that, they put us on in the middle of the night, and they didn't promote it in any way. And I got a call from John Landgraf, who runs the studio, and he said, what we'd like to do is bring on an actor of some note. And he said, what do you think about Danny DeVito? I went to his house, sat down, and he's like, so what's the character? And we hadn't talked about what the character was. But I was like, well, I gotta do something. So I just made something up on the spot. But I remember the moment where we had him. I was sitting there at his table, and his daughter Lucy comes in. Mm-hmm. She goes, oh, hey, Dad. Oh, hey, Rob, I love your show. And then walks out. And then he looked back at me, and I looked back at him, and I said, I got you, bud.
Have you ever seen anybody lick the blood off the nape of the neck of an individual whose ear he might have punctured with a hit?
That was an absolute first. Quirky, I believe, is an understatement of that. I don't even know how to describe the idea of him doing that. That's the thing about boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, whether it's somebody coming in on a jet pack and crashing next to the ring or any number of other bizarre things that have happened. The one thing you can count on is that with heavyweight championship prize fighting, something strange is going to happen. Oh, remember that time somebody bit off somebody's ear? Yeah, I forgot about that.
How'd you get on Game of Thrones?
So the guys that created Game of Thrones are good friends of mine, and I put them on an episode of Sunny. This is a reciprocal relationship. It was around that time that Ed Sheeran was on the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, there's a big difference between putting an actor in a scene and putting Ed Sheeran doing a very extreme push-up like it's Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You, and it's like slowly fading in on him as he's singing. Yes. And they're like, okay, well, we can't do anything like that for you because it's going to take people out. So we'll just shoot an arrow through your eye and you'll be in and out in 15 minutes.
I had no idea that was you.
I got a ton of texts that night, but then a lot of people saying, oh, you were on that show.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.